Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. We are back at it, and I'm excited for today's episode. So, first and foremost, I am obviously, and always will be, bourbon is my number one. Always number one. However, in the last 2 years, rye whiskey has grown on the Judge big time. So, I'm probably still 55% bourbon, 45% rye, but I do love myself some rye whiskey, honestly. I've become a huge fan of rye whiskey over the last 18 months to 2 years. But before we dive into everything today, in terms of like the 5 rye whiskeys that I'm loving this day and age, a couple updates. Number one, I'm actually in Columbus today. Myself and my patrons, 2 different groups. We're doing 2 different barrel picks. One over at Midwest Spirits, and then the second one over at High Bank Distillery. So really looking forward to getting some great barrels for our Bourbon Judge community. So if you're interested in becoming a patron and having access to our barrels, go ahead and check me out over on Patreon. Next, I am like this close. I mean, literally this close to hitting 20,000 subscribers. So please, if you haven't done thus far, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Really would appreciate it. Help me get to 20,000 subscribers. All right. And speaking of barrel picks, so obviously in Columbus doing the Midwest Spirits as well as the High Bank barrel picks, but those are ones that we're about to pick literally this week. What is new for the Bourbon Judge that's going to be coming in any day, literally? We have a 4-gate double oak. Kind of think of like the whole like 4-gate Kelvin 60. That is a barrel pick that should be coming in any day. We have a Cedar Ridge pick that's coming in every day, any day as well. We have 2 different, not one, but 2 different barrels of Russell's Reserve, the single barrel. So 2 different Russell's Reserve barrels coming in also any day. And then right in the beginning of the new year, we'll have our Jack Daniels coming in. We have a lot of different barrel picks coming in as well. I mean, there's just a ton, too many to list, but really excited for the Judge community, balance of year as we go into 2025. So really excited. All right. So Judge, tell me the 5 different rye whiskeys that you love this day and age and why. That's fair. All right, so I'm gonna give you the 5. These are not in order, so there's no particular order. I'm just gonna tell you the 5, and I'm gonna explain the reason why I'm enjoying them. Cool? All right. Number 1. So number 1 might be a bit of a surprise because I don't talk about this whiskey as much on the channel, but I think this is actually my 2nd or 3rd bottle. Is it second? Yeah, either 2nd or 3rd bottle of this exact same rye whiskey. So number 1 for me comes from Buzzard's Roost. This is the cigar rye. And this, I think, is either the 2nd or the 3rd bottle of this actual cigar rye. To me, Buzzard's Roost, this is a brand that I am really excited about. I love this rye whiskey. This is one I really honestly need to think really hard about actually doing a barrel pick with him as well. To me, honestly, you can sip this neat. You can sip it with a cigar, even though it is called the cigar rye. You can sip it neat, or you can sip it with a cigar. You don't necessarily need a cigar. I love myself some Buzzard's cigar rye. I think it's just perfect. It's from the beginning of the palate all the way to the end. It is just great quality. A nice little toast. Has like a little, almost like a marshmallow toast in a way to it. It's delicious. Number 1, Buzzard's Roost. All right. Number 2, so if you've watched the channel, you know the Bourbon Judge is a huge fan of this brand. There's no way I can have a rye category list and not have this brand in it in some form or fashion. However, today's though is not a finished rye. It's just a straight rye whiskey by itself. Number 2, I gotta have Sagamore. Oh, come on, man. Seriously? Number 2 is Sagamore whiskey. This is the 8-year-old rye. They recently came out with a 9-year-old as well. Sagamore for the price, $70, $75, maybe $80. Just kind of depending on where you find it, how much, tax, all that kind of good stuff. Sagamore has some of the best rye whiskeys on the market. Finished as well as non-finished. Sagamore, if you buy a Sagamore product, trust and believe you will love it. I mean, I could have went with this one. I could have went with a double oaked. I could have went with a finished product. Every single product that they release is always, and I mean always, absolutely amazing. All right, that is number 2. What is number 3, Judge? Oh boy, I need a sip of whiskey before I talk about number 3. All right, real quick. 3 quick easy favorites. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. Let me know what are some of your favorite rye whiskeys. And then last but not least, please make sure you all subscribe to the channel. Like I said, trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button. Cheers. Mm. Woo! Sipping some Sagamore right now. That bottle is so good. Oh my gosh. I just can't. All right. Number 3. So number 3, I'm in the process actually of doing a barrel pick with them. That one should be coming in. Well, I think we're going to be doing the barrel pick, I should say, probably beginning of January, maybe beginning of February. So need to work on logistics. But number 3, to me, this rye whiskey, there's something to be said about the quality of the rye that they're using. They're using a Merced rye. When I sip it, it reminds me, it has like a strawberry kind of a note to it. It almost reminds me as if it was finished, but it's not a finished rye. Normally the age on their barrels are 8, 9, 10 years. So they have some major age statements, and the quality of whiskey. Oh my gosh. Number 3, Corbin Cash. Corbin Cash out of California, Atwater, California. David and the team there. So David, the owner, as well as master distiller. David is making fantastic rye whiskey. I'm telling you folks, if you have not tried Corbin Cash, please do yourself a favor and try Corbin Cash. It's amazing. Like I said, we're doing a barrel pick with them in the next month or 2, and I am so excited to bring a Corbin Cash rye whiskey barrel pick to the Bourbon Judge community, because the quality of the whiskey is, it's off the charts. Truly off the charts. All right, what is number 4 and 5? And then we're going to end it with an asterisk. All right, what's number 4, Judge, and why? So number 4, to me, belongs in this category because of a couple reasons. Number 1, you can find it. Number 2, it's affordable. And number 3, it's great quality whiskey. So when you can find great quality whiskey that's also affordable, it belongs in this category all day. Number 4, our good friends over at Bardstown Bourbon Company from the Origin Series. $65 bottle, maybe $70 with tax. Oh my gosh. I mean, Bardstown Bourbon Company, everything they do, I mean, everything that they produce is always great whiskey. This, to me, I love it because it reminds me of a traditional rye, but it has a certain little sweetness to it as well. And I love that about it. I love Bardstown Bourbon Company as a whole, and their Origin Series rye, it's good. It is definitely good. And it's one of those bottles where you can pretty much find it all over. And the cool thing about it is that, like, you know, a lot of people are traveling this day and age, traveling either for work, you're traveling during the holiday season. This is a bottle that you can find all over, and you know you're going to get a great quality rye whiskey every time you buy a bottle of Bardstown Bourbon Company rye whiskey. Easily. Very easy. All right, number 5, and then the asterisk. So what is number 5, Judge, and why? Before I get to number 5, it's been a long day. Need another sip of whiskey. Cheers. Woo! That's Sagamore. Oh my gosh. So good. All right. Number 5. This shouldn't be a surprise because I'm literally there today doing a barrel pick. Number 5. Middle West Spirits. When I think about craft distilleries, to me, craft distilleries are the future of the whiskey industry. Literally, Middle West Spirits is on the map for sure. Middle West Spirits, this is the dark pumpernickel rye whiskey. It, to me, is amazing. There's something about the grain using that dark pumpernickel rye whiskey that is just special. And I mean, folks, it is special. If you have not tried Middle West Spirits, the dark pumpernickel rye, please make sure you try it. I mean, cask strength, $60 bottle plus tax depending on kind of where you live. It's honestly fantastic quality whiskey. Make sure you check out the Middle West Spirits, in particular this dark pumpernickel rye whiskey. Cool? All right. So Judge, what is the asterisk and why? So the asterisk, I put it in the asterisk category because number 1, it's a rye obviously, but it's definitely a little bit harder to find, right? It's just harder to find. When you do find it, it should be at MSRP because it's not super allocated, but it is definitely harder to find. I found it actually, gosh, where was I? Oh, I was in Nashville, actually. I was in Nashville. We were going down to Jack Daniel's, doing a barrel pick with Jack Daniel's, doing actually a Jack Daniel's barrel proof rye whiskey, and I found this bottle myself and my patrons. A great experience, but it's definitely a harder bottle to find. You're not gonna find this all over, and that is the reason why I put it in the asterisk category. Cool. All right, so the asterisk for today, I just finished last year's version. I have not opened this year's version. Cool. All right, so for last year, but I've heard nothing but great things about this year's as well. Oh my gosh, Old Overholt, aged 11 years, cask strength, straight rye whiskey. I just finished the 10-year. I mean, literally, I just finished the 10-year, like as in yesterday, finished the 10-year. But this 11-year, I've heard nothing but great things about it. But the 2023 10-year-old version was, I mean, like just another level for a rye whiskey. It is a true rye whiskey lover's pour. It really is. If you have not had an Old Overholt cask strength rye whiskey, coming in at about $100, maybe $110 with tax, that's the MSRP. If you can find it, please grab it because it is just so damn special. All right, friends, until the next time, as we say in this courtroom, peace, cheers,